everything. Something about your love, something about your love changes everything, changes everything. Something about your love, something about your love changes everything, changes everything. Something about your love, something about your love changes everything, changes everything. Something about your love, something about your love changes everything. You turn my morning into dancing. 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 'Cause your love changes everything. Your love changes everything. You turn my morning into dancing. You turn my morning into dancing. You turn my morning into dancing. 'Cause your love changes everything. Your love changes everything. Oh, there's something about your love, something about your love changes everything in my body. Oh, something about your love, something about your love changes everything. It changes everything. Something about your love, something about your love changes everything. It changes everything. Something about your love, something about your love changes everything, changes everything. Something about your love, something about your love changes everything. Something about your love, something about your love changes everything, changes everything. Something about your love, something about your love changes everything, changes everything. Something about your love, something about your love changes everything. You turn my morning into dancing. 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 Something about your love, something about your love changes everything.
Hey, good morning, Rooted Men. Pastor Tom from the Rooted Ministries. Monday morning, and I'm just pulling up the reading for today. Proverbs chapter 25, and we're going to be looking at 11 through 15. So I'm just pulling those up here for a second. All right, very good. Yeah, I've been trying to get the devotions filled in for the week. Working to straighten out the Friday thing. Sorry for those of you who have come into the Friday devotion only to find that nobody's there. I'm working on that today, trying to figure out where the confusion is and get that all straightened out. But we are live on YouTube, and we are live on Rumble, and we are live on X. And so I think we're doing all right here right now. Good, good, good. It seems like, yeah, we're doing good. All right, Tom Donnelly's on board. Good morning, Rooted Men. Ken Gooch. Good morning, fellow brothers in arms. Chris Connolly, good morning. Bert Reggiani, always great to see you, and good morning, gentlemen. Chuck B, good morning, firmly rooted men. Blessings to you all. Amen to that. All right. Proverbs 25, beginning at verse 11. Like apples of gold in settings of silver is a ruling rightly given. You got to understand the history of Solomon and the fact that they brought nature into the palace and even into the sanctuary that God created everything. And so having, even in bronze and gold and silver, images of what's out there in creation, the things that marvel our eyes and make us realize that God is a creator God. And so you would have these very complex, ornate settings of apples and silver, and taking unlike metals like silver and gold and fastening them together. And he just talks about how right that is and how beautiful that is, and that it takes work and skill. And he says, like apples of gold and settings of silver is a ruling rightly given. When right is wrong, when right is right and wrong is wrong. When truth is truth and falsehood is falsehood. When the victims are actually defended and criminals are actually accused and put into prison. The world's all upside down when rulers and politicians and people making decisions contradict each other, make decisions that don't make any sense. They don't even match up to the laws. They're just doing it because of political interest or because they have the power to do so. That's when everything is yucky. It's got a bad taste in the mouth and nobody likes it, and everybody can't stand it. But boy, oh boy, when rulings are right and just and fair, it just becomes beautiful. Like an earring of gold or an ornament of fine gold is the rebuke of a wise judge to a listening ear. That those who are in authority know that you're given that authority to serve the God of the universe, and you are governing human beings that are imago Dei, in the image of God. And so be just. Take the judgment of a just judge. Take the judgment when you're accused of doing wrong, and most importantly, take the blessing of stepping into that which is righteous and having someone defend you. Where someone else might be attacking you, a righteous judge defends you. See, if we don't have right and wrong, if we don't have up and down, if we don't have truth, how do you make a decision? How can one day something be okay and like the next day it's not, dependent upon the political wind changing? It's either right or wrong. It's either yes or no. It's either up or down. It's either north or south. There are just these absolutes that just are, and everything should be governed by them. Like a snow-cooled drink at harvest, right? You harvest, you're working like crazy. It's kind of cool outside, but it's warm. You're working hard. You're trying to pull in all the crops of the land. And he talks about a snow-cooled drink, right? They didn't have ice cubes, but if you happen to have some frost, you happen to have some little bit of water frozen, you would add that to your drink, and man, oh man, how refreshing that was. Like a snow-cooled drink at harvest time is a trustworthy messenger to the one who sends him. He refreshes the spirit of his master. Notice all of this. Apples of gold, silver, earrings of gold, ornaments of fine gold. a soothing, refreshing, cool drink comes with someone who's trustworthy, someone who brings a trustworthy message. It refreshes the very soul of the recipient. It's what Sunday morning should be like. When we gather around God and gather around His people and gather around His Word, and that Word is living and active, and it always does its work, and it's like living water and living bread. We should be satisfied. It should be like drinking in something that is just right and true, and it makes course adjustments to our lives. It reminds us that we're on the right track. It encourages us to keep on going. What Solomon is saying is none of this is possible. All the positives they're not possible unless truth is being spoken in God's love. Things have to be done a certain way in order for them to be effective. And then finally, verse 15. I'm sorry, I still have 14. Like clouds and wind without rain is one who boasts of gifts never given. Here's the contrast. You got the fool. You got the person who's talking, boasting, but they got nothing to give. They got nothing to give. They are like clouds and wind without rain. I see the clouds, I feel it, I feel the wind, but there's no rain. There's no refreshment. There's no nothing. It's empty, it's void. The thief comes to steal, kill, and destroy, but Jesus says, I've come that you might have life and have it abundantly. Verse 15, through patience, a ruler can be persuaded, and a gentle tongue can break a bone. Through patience. Having the patience to make sure that you're fully understanding the other person, that you're not jumping to judgment and accusations, but you are listening. James says, be quick to listen and slow to speak. We should shut up and listen first to make sure we understand even what the issue is. But then he says, a gentle tongue can break a bone. And he is talking about something that I feel so strongly about. Truth is powerful in and of itself. Grab that. Truth does not need my anger. It doesn't need my frustration. Truth doesn't need my screaming and yelling. Truth doesn't need my cussing and swearing. Truth doesn't need me banging counters and tables. And truth doesn't need any help. It's so powerful. It can take a heart of stone and make it a heart of flesh. It can take something dead and make it alive again. A gentle tongue can break a bone. We got to watch out for the words that we're using, the words that are coming out of our mouths, the effect that those words could have on people who are listening. We got to check our tone. We got to make sure that what we're about to say comes from God's kingdom, that it is ringing of God's love and God's truth, or don't say it. Let truth do its work. All we have to do is be light. All we have to do is testify to the gospel of Jesus Christ, to be true to our faith. We don't need to get into a fight. We don't need to get into an argument. We just speak truth. And it has the power to change everything. All right, that's what I think I have for you, and that's it. Bert Reggiani, powerful message yesterday, both services. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. I heard someone told me that was the best sermon I ever preached. I gotta have to listen to it. But at any rate, thank you for that. I just pray every Sunday that those words affect your hearts as much as it affects mine. Steve Giroux, good morning. All right, everyone. Blessings on your day. Make it a firmly rooted day, and may someone see Jesus in us today. Peace.